On today's Four Verts episode, a little college football. I haven't done a college football video in a while. My name is Harrison Graham. What is going on at the University of Tennessee between Nico Iamaleava, their quarterback, and the program? Some NIL contract drama. We're going to dive into the latest, kind of spread that news, and then I'll give my take and my reaction and how college football could have bit of an issue on its hands with all of this stuff. The sport is changing rapidly. And listen, we haven't really done much college football offseason content. We're full NFL, and I know a lot of you guys are waiting for my 3-round mock draft. We had to push that back with this story. That'll drop either tomorrow or Sunday. But if you want more college football content this offseason, like this video. Let's get at least 100 likes, and maybe we'll work in some CFB videos. All right, I'm Harrison Graham. This is Four Verts, where we talk NFL and college football every day. Nico Iamaleava drama. What is going on at Tennessee? He did not show up at practice today after a report dropped yesterday about NIL contract negotiations. So let's kind of just go through the timeline. This dropped yesterday from Pete Nakos on 3 Sports, saying that On3 has learned that Nico Iamaleava and Tennessee are in active negotiations on a new NIL deal ahead of the 2025 season. It remains unclear if those negotiations will impact Iamaleava's decision regarding the spring transfer portal, which opens next week. Sources have indicated that Nico is happy at Tennessee and has a strong relationship with head coach Josh Heupel. The Vols are trying to finalize a new contract before Saturday's orange-white spring game. Now, Nico's dad took to Twitter after this report last night and said this: more games being played off the field than on the field. Bitch Nikos from On3 Sports, I don't mean to laugh, but pretty funny, called and asked me directly. I told him I had no idea what he's talking about. He said his close source that he trusts with his life from the University of Tennessee staff gave him this. When I woke up, I saw some of the feed. I was like, okay, maybe this is a nothing burger. Well, not really. Some more today. Update from On3. Nico Iamaleava not at practice this morning per VolQuest Austin Priceless. Also, this new coming in just recently. Nico's reps want to see his NIL deal upped to $4 million into the $4 million range before the winter portal closed. So this was back a few months ago. That report coming in from Chris Lowe of ESPN. Quote, Tennessee officials said they weren't going to blink. I mean, this story's getting pretty weird, man. Like, I saw Ian Rappaport, top NFL insider, quote tweeted and said, a college football hold-in. Wild. We are now in the era of where you can hold out for a new contract in college football. And I do want to make clear, I'm all for these guys getting paid, but I think there has to be some parameters, which we will dive into here in a little bit. Pete Nakos, more on the kind of financial side of it, said the issue at hand is that Iamaleava's multi-million-dollar deal was one of the first large NIL contracts. The market has since adjusted significantly, especially at the quarterback position. Multiple sources close to the situation indicate that Iamaleava's current contract is somewhere between 2.2 and 2.5 million, which I'd like to have 2.5 million dollars. And then another report came in that Nico's camp wants $1 million more than Carson Beck. He got $3 million from Miami despite not having a great year last year. So Nico and his camp, and probably more so his camp and agents, are saying, okay, we deserve 4 then. And if you don't look at the numbers and you kind of just like, just thought kind of blankly last year at the college football season, you're like, yeah, Nico was better than Beck. Beck was pretty bad. But then when you really think about it and you look at the numbers and you go back and look at Tennessee's season, sure, they were a playoff team. He wasn't that great. He just wasn't. Like, I think 10 of his 19 touchdowns were outside of SEC play. Like, he was fine for a first-year starter. He's got a huge potential, 5-star quarterback. I do think he's an ascending player in college football, but you would think that he had won the Heisman or something, right? Or he was a Heisman finalist, and he's like, come on, Carson Beck making $1 million more than me, that's a joke. Kind of played to a similar level of Carson Beck, I would say. last year. I think this is pretty bold by Nico or his reps or whoever, coming off what I would call an up and down season. I think he's in a bad spot. If Tennessee pays up, the pressure, if they pay up, by the way, I don't even know if they will, the pressure for Iamaleava to play at a Heisman level will be massive. If they pay up to $4 million after this PR battle, and he struggles, he's going to hear it from the fan base. I do not envy him in that situation, but that's the card they've chosen to play here. More on this in a second, but first, Turtle Beach, the #1 brand in gaming headsets and accessories. Remember that feeling of booting up your favorite game for the first time? Maybe it was college football when you were a kid. It's great to have the game back. We'll see if Nico's on the game. The late night sessions, the epic wins, the sound of the lobby filling up with friends. Gaming wasn't just something you did. It was a whole experience, and the right headset made all of the difference. And Turtle Beach is bringing that feeling back with the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It's like stepping into the golden age of gaming all over again, only this time the audio is richer, the surround sound is more immersive, and the battery lasts an insane 80 hours. No more crackly mics, no more missed callouts, just pure, uninterrupted gaming exactly the way you remember it, but better. Don't waste any time. Get the best gaming experience available with the Stealth 700 headset from Turtle Beach. Go to turtlebeach.com/chat. Use code chat for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off at turtlebeach.com/chat with promo code chat. Tell them we sent you. That helps support the show. And get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. turtlebeach.com/chat, code chat. Link is in the comments and description to get 10% off today. Look, I'm all for guys getting paid. I think these guys drive revenue to the university. I think it's fair that especially the high-level players get some compensation. But I think it's a bad move. I mean, you're making $2.5 million. Like, think about the NFL, right? Like, sometimes a guy that you deem isn't as good as you gets a new contract because that's when he hit the market. Carson Beck became available, and he hit the market. Miami paid up. Sure, you could go into the portal, but you may not find a team that's going to pay up. And if Tennessee's not, like, you could find yourself in a situation where you're on this upward trajectory, and now you're shit out of luck. So, I think it's one of these things where, yeah, I'm all for these guys getting paid, but if you do get paid, and we've clearly gone this route where you are, you don't just call all the shots either. Like, if I'm Tennessee, I'm probably holding pretty firm on this. Like, hey, we like you. You're growing. We agreed to a multi-year deal with you out of high school to make, I think I saw up to $8 million. Like, I don't know what you want from us. You had a solid year last year, but hey, you go be a Heisman finalist next year. If you want to come back instead of going to the pros, yeah, we'll up your contract then. But we think you're making market value. Just because Miami gave a mediocre quarterback $3 million doesn't mean we're going to give you $4 million. So I think this is a bad move for Nico. I think he's going to lose the PR battle. And even if this works out and he stays at Tennessee, the pressure that this guy is going to be under heading into the next season is going to be massive. And I think that brings us to this. It has to be talked about. College football's got a problem, man, because there's no parameters with any of these NIL deals. And by the way, I'm going to put NIL in air quotes. NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. That's if, hey, Harrison Graham, quarterback at TCU, we're going to put you in a Chick-fil-A commercial. That's name, image, and likeness. This is just pay to play, which again is fine, but we shouldn't be calling it NIL. Tennessee negotiating with Nico's reps to give him a contract for this year. That's not NIL. It's just, hey, here, we got $3 million for you. That's not name it. It's two different things. I don't really care, but the fact that we call it NIL is stupid. But college football's got an issue because there's no parameters. Some schools can offer, $30 million in a year. Other schools can only offer 10. There's got to be more parameters. You can transfer whenever you want, which I'm mostly okay with because coaches can leave whenever they want and leave programs high and dry. Why can't players? But here are a few things that I think would, in the modern era of college football, benefit the sport. Number one, I think the big schools, and I don't know where you draw the line. It certainly seems like Big Ten, SEC for the most part, although there's some schools in those conferences, like does Rutgers have a seat at the table, Vanderbilt? I'm not sure. Whatever the number is, whether it's 30 schools or 60 or whatever, I think that group of universities for football needs to break off the NCAA. They don't need the NCAA anymore. The college football playoff has nothing to do with the NCAA. I think you break off and you rip the Band-Aid off there. It feels like we're hanging on for really no reason at this point. Those universities for football, for again, whatever schools, maybe the Big Ten and SEC commissioner say, hey, for any schools that can come up with blank salary cap number per year, you're eligible for this league. If not, we're leaving without you. So I don't know how you decide which schools are in it, but that's what's going to happen. Number two, you're going to have a commissioner. I think Joel Klatt would be someone that would be really good at this because he understands the sport very well, the evolution of it all as well. Again, doesn't matter who it is. Maybe it's someone like Oliver Luck. I'm not sure. But you need someone overseeing it. Maybe Greg Sankey just does it. The SEC commissioner, maybe he just runs college football. So you're going to need that as well. A couple more things that I think are going to have to go into place. But first, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. NFL, college football videos every single day, all year long. We're mostly NFL focused this time of year because the NFL offseason is a much bigger news cycle driver than college football. But hey, again, if you want more college football content, let your voice be known, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Daily content. Okay, number three. There has to be some sort of a salary cap, which, again, I know traditionalists don't like the sound of that, but guys are already getting paid. There's no going back. So let's just lean into it and add parameters. That's what I'm going for here. Guys are already getting paid, and by the way, they've been getting paid forever. We just didn't know about it. So just accept it. And I think like 20 million is probably a fair number. Again, how many schools can come up with that? I don't know. Whatever the number is, it's got to be even. And that way, it's just very simple. It's like we got 20 million bucks to work with for our roster. The top 10 to 15 guys on our team probably make up 15 million of that. And then, the rest of the roster, they all get 50 grand or something like that, right? So whatever that is, I think there's got to be some kind of salary cap. Number four, I think part of what would fix some of these issues, the constant movement, is 2-year contracts. If you're a non-senior, you sign a 2-year contract. If you break that contract, as I bring in my next bullet point here, I think a one-time free transfer with an asterisk, which I'll address in a second. If you're in between year 1 and year 2 of that 2-year contract, you break that contract you have, and if you've already gotten that money, you got to give it back to the school, or you just don't get the second year of that money, right? You transfer, and now you're on the other school's new books, if you will. I do think every player should get a one-time free transfer. We're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds. Kids make mistakes. They choose the wrong school. It's not working out, whatever the case may be. Like, I think you should be allowed to move one time. And then I'll add an asterisk because if you've already transferred and your coach leaves and it's a whole new coaching staff, I also think you should be allowed to transfer again because you have no idea what the new coaching staff is going to think of you as a player, what their plans are for you. So that would be the exception. But otherwise, I think one-time free transfer. Like that's more than fair. Over a 4-year period, you can play at 2 schools. If you want to add some caveat, like if you're a redshirt and you're going to be a 5th-year senior and you've graduated, have a second free transfer as a graduate, I'd be open to that. But the point of all this, even if it's somewhat loose still, is there has to be stipulations in place because it's the wild, wild west, man. No one knows what the rules are because there are no rules. And, you're having a guy now skipping spring ball as he's waiting for a new NIL contract. It's just there has to be some balance of like it is still college football, even if we're all acknowledging that these guys are and should get paid. It can't just like really like a 20-year-old is holding out. Like this isn't Mahomes holding out for a new deal in the NFL or something like that. So I think Nico's not playing his cards right. I don't know if he's driving this. I don't know if he's getting bad advice, but I could understand this if he was a Heisman finalist last year and he's like, really, Carson Beck's making $1 million more bucks than me. Like, yeah, you should probably up his pay, but he's making $2.5 million, man. He was kind of average last year. Go ball out this year, then you can either go to the draft and make a bunch of money, or Tennessee or some other school will definitely give you a pay raise this year. I don't think he's going to win this battle. I don't know what Tennessee's going to do, how they're going to handle it, because if they call his bluff and he enters the portal, that doesn't help Tennessee out either because they lose their best quarterback. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this chess match plays out. Do you guys think this is a good move by Nico? Because I do not. I don't think it is a good move. I think it's overly bold. I think he's overstepping his bounds. Type Y for yes, you do think it's a good move. Type N for no, you don't. My name is Harrison Graham. We will be back with another video soon. My 3-round mock draft. And again, if you want more college football content, let us know. We'll see you guys soon.